You're listening to the Online Business Blueprint brought to you by PlatformLaunchers.com. I'm John Stange, and it's great to be with you this week, as always, because here we like to talk about building and growing and monetizing your online platform. We tell you how to take your passion, turn it into a platform so that you could earn a paycheck. And this week, we're going to be talking about a concept that I guess I could have titled multiple things, but I think what we're going to talk about, the way I'm going to phrase it, is this idea of writing your ideal job description. So even before I get into the details, think about that for just a second. Writing your ideal job description. What would be on it? What would you say? How would you go about it? Why would you even do it? So we're going to talk about that in our time together. Really quickly, I'll just encourage you to stop by platformlaunchers.com if you would like some tools to help you get going in building your online platform. We've got lots of things over there for you, and we hope that you'll make great use of the resources, the free ones and the others that you'll find at platformlaunchers.com. So let's talk about this idea of writing your ideal job description. Now, on occasion, when an employer is particularly thrilled with an employee, when that employee is of exceptionally good or valuable heft to a company, it's not uncommon for some companies to recognize that person's gift by showing them exceptional trust and exceptional deference in many respects. And one of the ways that that can often be shown is by giving someone, that employee in particular, the opportunity to write their own job description. It happens, and I'm just curious if you're watching us on YouTube, if you're listening via the podcast, however you're accessing this week's episode, has that ever happened to you? Have you ever been given the opportunity to write your own job description, or has that ever happened to someone that you know? And what would you do if you were given that kind of opportunity? And what would your ideal job description sound like? I think that these are kind of interesting questions to mull around and to think about. We're going to develop this thought a little bit together this week, but several years ago, I was actually having a conversation with my friend and fellow author. We've had her on here as a guest, Honore Corder, and she asked me an interesting question in the midst of our discussion. She said, if you could create your ideal life, what would it look like and what would you do? And she kind of followed that up with some clarifying questions. She said, are there things that you're doing now that you would like to do more? And are there things that you're doing now that you would like to do less? And so I thought about those questions. I thought about that for a little bit. And I really appreciated the fact that she was asking that. And I didn't want to rush an answer. So I gave some thought to what she had asked before replying. And the more I thought about what she said, the more I thought about her questions, the more I kept coming back to one particular word when I thought about what I would like to do more. And the big word was teach. I wanted to teach more. She asked me this several years ago. And as I thought through those questions, her question helped me realize that I genuinely wanted to spend more of my life teaching than I was presently doing. I felt like I had more in the tank that I needed to let out somewhere. And so I started thinking about that. And that conversation directly contributed to my decision to start my other platform, BibleStudyHeadquarters.com. The goal is that it would be a teaching platform, and I was excited about that. And that also segued into me taking more teaching responsibility over at Cairn University. It really came down to me having some clarification about my desire to teach more than I was teaching. And again, I told her I wanted to teach more than I was presently teaching, so I made some changes in my life that allowed me to do that very thing. And to put it another way, when I think about it through the lens of our topic this week, you could say that I was writing my own job description. I basically looked at what I was called and shaped to do, and I decided to take some action to make doing that more of a part of my life. And I've been really grateful for it. It's become very fruitful. It's something that I'm tired. I have to admit, I was even joking with the group here before we started the podcast. I was just talking about the fact that, right now I feel a little extra tired just because I've been doing a lot of teaching and a lot of other things. But at the same time, I feel good. Sometimes you feel tired in a way that feels like a good tired. And that's certainly how I've been feeling as of late. But I read a similar concept, a similar mindset, this idea of writing your own job description and kind of thinking about the things that we're called and shaped to do. I read a similar thing while I was learning about a man named S. Michael Howdman. Now, I don't know if you've ever heard that name before. I don't know what the S stands for. He just goes by an initial there, but S. Michael Howdman, his name is. And Howdman is the founder of a faith based website that I've been accessing for years. It's called gotquestions.org. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. I find it very useful. He started the website somewhere around 2002. So it's been around for a little while and it's been growing exponentially. The site has increasingly grown in popularity. It shows up all over search results. A lot of times, if you ask, a question about the Christian faith or something of a spiritual nature, it's one of the top results that'll show up in a Google search. His website, gotquestions.org, extremely helpful. But basically, here's his backstory, and I'm gonna quote him directly in just a moment. But his backstory is this: Howdman loved theology, and he loved the study of the Bible, two things that I'm very much enamored with as well. But he didn't feel particularly called to serve in some of the traditional forms of spiritual leadership that some might assume that a man of his interests might pursue. So Howdman said things went like this. This is a direct quote from him. He said, "So my wife and I began praying, asking God to give me a ministry that was a unique fit for me. We can't remember whether God first gave the idea to me or to my wife, but we felt the Lord leading us to create a Christian website where people could come and ask any question that they have about the Bible." And that was the beginning of gotquestions.org. And then Howdman went on to say this. He said, "I thank God every day that I get to serve him doing something I absolutely love and enjoy." He says, "If I were to write a job description of my dream ministry, it would describe precisely what I'm doing, except for perhaps less administrative work," he says. And he also goes on to say, he says, "I've always loved technology. I've always been able to express myself better in writing than in speaking. So a ministry that allows me to write and edit and develop and research and publish content is a perfect fit for me." Now, I don't know if you consider yourself to be a person of faith like I am or like S. Michael Howdman is, but just the same, I want you to ask a question of yourself. Is there anything about the things that he said that resonates with you? Do you spend every day serving others in a capacity that you absolutely love and absolutely enjoy? Would you describe your tasks as a unique fit for you based on your talents and your gifts and your abilities? These are questions that are worth asking. I have to say, one of the blessings that comes with creating an online platform or a message based business is one of the blessings that comes with that is just the privilege to write your own job description. You get to take a hard look at what you enjoy doing and what you don't enjoy doing at the same time, and then decide how much of each you're going to do. But for many of us, that's rather easy to say and not always easy to implement, not always easy to do. In fact, I'm actually convinced that we often need some outside help to come up with our ideal job description. If you've been trying to think of a job description, your ideal job description, you may need help from those that are kind of outside your situation to help you clarify it. So, if I may, if you'll please allow me to do so, I would like to be one of those voices that offers some outside help as you attempt to determine what you should be doing during this next season of your life. And I'm just going to bring really 7 questions to you, and I'm going to I'm just going to put these out there, and I'm going to ask you to just think about these things for a minute here. And I'm not going to give you a whole lot of detail on each one of these things, but I'm going to pose these questions because these are some clarifying questions that can help you figure out what you should be doing during the next season of your life. And maybe these will help you write your next job description. So here's question number 1, and I'm not going to give you much explanation on it. It's self-explanatory. Question number 1 to be asking is this: what are my interests? So just think about that for a moment. Pause, think about it. What are my interests? Question number 2 is this: which skills have I developed that I enjoy using? Which skills have I developed that I enjoy using? Third question is this: What value am I uniquely capable of offering, or to offer, I should say? What value am I uniquely capable to offer? Number 4 is this: do I sense a calling on my life that nudges me to move in a particular direction? Do I sense a calling on my life that nudges me to move in a particular direction? All right, number 5 is this: in which contexts does my personality type thrive? Your personality type might thrive in certain contexts, very noticeably. In other contexts, maybe not so much. So, in which context does my personality type thrive? Number 6 is this: based on past experiences, is there a task or responsibility that I should not be doing? If you notice something just through your past experiences that really falls into the category of something that you would say, you know what, I tried that. I should not be doing that. That is not in line with how I'm shaped or wired or gifted. And then number 7 is this: am I running from something, or am I running towards something? Are you thinking about doing something different because you're trying to run from something? Or are you thinking about doing something different or updating what you're doing because you're running towards something? Now, that's the list of 7 questions. So hopefully, if you're listening via the podcast, you took the time to jot those down. If you're watching us on YouTube, hopefully you took the time to jot those down, because I'm going to ask you to do something additional with these things. Oh, by the way, you could find these questions. I'll have them posted. By the time you hear this podcast, they will be posted at platformlaunchers.com. So you'll be able to find them very easily in the blog. But let me suggest that you do a few things with this list of questions. So first of all, I'm going to actually suggest that you do 3 specific things with these things. And first of all, if you're a person of faith like I am, I'm going to ask you to pray about these things. Pray over them, right? As you're thinking through these questions, just pray over these things. Second, take some time away from your normal distractions and think through each of these questions with a journal or a notebook handy, something that will allow you to write. And I want you to jot down your thoughts and attempt to process these questions one at a time, and don't feel the need to rush through them. Jot down your questions, or jot down your answers to these questions one at a time, but give yourself time to really think through these things. And then the third thing I want you to do with them is this: sit down with 1 or 2 people that you know extremely well, and please, choose people whose character and motives you completely trust. Okay. And then discuss these questions with them, and then pay close attention to the feedback that they give you. Might be wise in that notebook where you jotted down some of your thoughts on these questions, that you jot down some of their answers as well. Because here's the thing, let's come back to our main thought. What do we do? We try and build, grow, and monetize online platforms. If you're listening to this show, if you're watching us, you're probably someone who values this idea of creating an online platform. Creating an online platform is not something you need to do to fill up your time. I'm sure your time has plenty of demands already. You don't need to do this to fill up your time. Creating an online platform should be something that capitalizes on your strengths and on your abilities. It should make the most of the unique value that you're able to offer to others. And ideally, it should be I think it should be a reflection of your ideal job description if you were given the opportunity to write one. That's what I think your online platform should be. I think it should be a reflection of your ideal job description if you were given the opportunity to write that job description. And so working through those 7 questions, I think, can help you identify what that job description should look like. Again, I was very much inspired when I was reading the story, some of the things that S. Michael Howdman had to say about how he started GotQuestions.org. It's become one of the most prominent online platforms in the faith-based world, and it continues to grow. There are all sorts of people participating in it. They get millions of downloads per month. They help millions of people with their content. They encourage people in their faith. They help people answer questions. He has clarity. Howdman has clarity on what he's supposed to be doing during this season of his life. And as he said, and I love the way he said it, he said, I thank God every day that I get to serve him doing something I absolutely love and enjoy. And he says, if I were to write a job description of my dream ministry, it would describe precisely what I'm doing. I would love for you to have that same kind of confidence and ability to assert that what you're doing is the exact right thing for you at this time. I'll reiterate those 7 questions one more time before we wrap it up here. Question number 1, what are my interests? Question number 2, which skills have I developed that I enjoy using? Question number 3, what value am I uniquely capable to offer? Question number 4, do I sense a calling on my life that nudges me to move in a particular direction? Question number 5, in which contexts does my personality type thrive? Question number 6, based on past experiences, is there a task or responsibility that I should not be doing? And question number 7, am I running from something or am I running towards something? Think about these things, pray over them, jot down your thoughts when you spend some time alone meditating over these things. Invite some close friends that you trust to also speak into your life related to these things. And I'd love to hear what you come up with. Like I said, I will have, by the time you hear this podcast, by the time you watch this video, these questions will be posted at the Platform Launchers blog, and you can find that at platformlaunchers.com. While you're on the website, a whole bunch of other things there that I hope you'll utilize as well that will help you build, grow, and monetize your online platform. Download the freebies, check out the samples, use the free trials, and just embrace the content that's there because it's going to help you get stuff done as far as building your online platform. And we're super glad to be able to help you. But that's it for us this week. Thanks again for tuning in. We're so glad to be able to spend this time together with you. And I very much look forward to getting together with you again right here next time. But in the meantime, take care and have a wonderful week. And we'll talk to you really soon. Bye-bye.